Welcome back to the show. All right, I gave it to you in 71 seconds, but I want the opportunity to explain myself. Here's the short of it. I enjoyed my experience with the game, even though the only experience I have is with Billy Lee at this point, and that took hours of me understanding what this game wants to do, what its goals was, what it wanted from me, and what it was I ultimately am getting from it. Because again, like I said, I have only beaten the game with Billy Lee. I've done a little bit of extra mode and not much else, but I really want to know what's up with Jimmy, what's up with Marion, what's up with Ronzo. I want to know what's up with them characters. So right now, I'm not really finna get into scores or what the game can do, but there are some things that I do want to highlight. First of all, this soundtrack goes extra stupid, but when you got people on the track like Mr. Cookout himself, Raito, you got James Landino, you got Funk Fiction on the track, Kota Takahashi and Ferrani, who I've never heard of, but according to what it was I saw on Twitter, I may have heard her stuff in a video game somewhere. I'm just gonna talk like, yo, the soundtrack goes stupid. I got the whole soundtrack in my phone right now. I've been beating it the whole weekend. I'm like, I literally was getting hyped for this, listening to that. So if we're gonna highlight something from the start, the soundtrack goes stupid. It is worthy of Double Dragon, if nothing else. Though the remixes hit the way that they're supposed to, and the original things really add a vibe to it, which I don't think you can get from anywhere else. So we've said the music, we've said our said. Let's put that aside, right? Let us talk about the video game because I need to explain the part in that video about Double Dragon Revive wanting you to play Double Dragon Revive. I will admit something. I don't think I was paying enough attention when the tutorials were coming on because all I wanted to do was press the Y button and bash some heads. And I figured, well, I'll figure it out. No, I will admit now, the game did a well enough job of introducing itself to you. It was like, hi, my name is Double Dragon Revive. You're Triple to God. It's nice to meet you. This is what I want. And again, because here's the thing that I did before I pressed record. I played stage one again with Billy. Played stage one again. And sat up here. The game does a great job again of explaining its modus operandi to you. It's like it wants you to interact with your enemies and with the environment. And the freestyle portion is how you bring that all together. And when I think about my experience, the more and more I figured out what Double Dragon Revive wanted from me and what it was I was getting from it, the more fun I had. But again, I ran into a point where I had to understand that I want to play Double Dragon Revive. Double Dragon Revive wants me to play Double Dragon Revive. But now I need to survive Double Dragon Revive so I'm not getting hit all the way back to some random checkpoint at the beginning. Which then turned into me wall jumping off of anything in the geometry, double jumping and sitting up here and hitting that ground pound with Bimmy because I need to sit up here and try to thin the herd. I need to give myself room. Because again, the tools I had with Billy and understanding how to properly crowd control, how to properly get things set up, how to properly get into freestyling, and how to equally understand, again, what Double Dragon Revive wants from me. Let me give you an example. My favorite enemy in the game is Burnoff. You want to know why? Because he's free Dragon Orb energy. Literally, free Dragon Orb energy. You defeat him as normal, and then you stomp his headpiece, and you get free energy. You get free energy. The thing is, I bring up Burnoff for a reason. Double Dragon Revive gets into some puzzle elements. Literally, like you're gonna see it the deeper you get in the extra mode, which I don't suggest you play until after you beat the game. Is that you have to understand that the game is configured the way that it is for a reason. Every room you step into, every group of enemies you get, there is a way you should do it, a way you can freestyle through it, and a wrong way to do it. To meet you at the middle ground on this, the way you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to understand, and because you'll get to a point in the game like I did, you recognize enemies. And there are certain enemies, like I said, my favorite is Burn Off, that you want to see in a mob. Because your job, when you see that enemy that you want, you're trying to farm Dragon Orb energy. You're trying to see if you can get them wall hits. You trying to see how you can properly crowd control. And you sitting up here, and it's like a very, very deadly, elegant dance. And when Double Dragon Revive hits on the dance of you sitting up here and you doing this and this and this and this, and we sliding and we parading and we sitting up here and we spinning around and a dip, you give you a kiss, and we do all of that. Double Dragon Revive hits major when the dance is happening. Every now and then, I'm trying to dance with you, but you don't want to dance with me because instead of the waltz, Double Dragon Revive just gets up in the middle of the fight and I want to do the electric slide. And I'm just like, I love the electric slide, but you're not letting me know you want to do the electric slide, but I will adjust my combat and we'll electric slide. I want to move. No, we're not going to do that right now. I want to teach you. I'm going to teach you the electric slide. So again, you will get to moments. You're waltzing with the game, and then the game wants the electric slide. And it's like, it was those moments that kind of made me angry a little bit, because at that juncture when that was happening, I was in a freestyle groove. I'm sitting up here, I'm sitting up here wall throwing enemies. I'm sitting up here clearing them out. I'm sitting up here dashing up, running up, dodging up to get to them, hitting them with the work, spinning them around and do all that. And then all of a sudden, electric slide come on. And it's just like, really, Double Dragon Revive? This how we finna do it? This how we finna electric slide right now. Okay? And then you get to a bunch of that. And then, like I said, it's some moments where, again, this is me talking about me playing with Billy Lee. Of I need to wall jump off random geometry because I need to reset the song. Because what song Double Dragon Revive is deciding to put on, I don't want to dance. I don't want to dance to that one. So what I'm finna do is I'm finna sit up here and I'm gonna hit that ground pound, and we're gonna reset the dance until we put on a song that I like. A lot of times when I got that mentality in my head, the truth is the song never changed. I had to literally hit the ground pound, clear the streets out, and take a second and listen to the song that Double Dragon Revive wants me to dance to. Once I'm back in that groove, I can get that freestyle again. And again, like I said earlier, when Double Dragon Revive hits on the dance portion, on the puzzle it out portion, on the figuring it out like Summer Sanders portion, it hits really, really, really well for someone like me who appreciates combat mechanics. See, I come to beat 'em ups to understand what the beat 'em up wants from me. And once I understand what the beat 'em up wants from me, then I give it a little bit of Uncle Triple, and we sitting up here and we grooving. Why do you think I love Streets of Rage 2 so much? Because after playing that game for 50 million years, I can still dance with it, get in a groove with it, and I'm always finding something new that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, great beat 'em ups do that. Like, do I want to take them on? Yeah, you know what? Fighting Rage. Fighting Rage is probably the best beat 'em up I've played in years, because I was dancing with that game very early, and I had to learn to dance because my dance partner was Gal, the hardest character in the game to play. So I had to learn how to dance to her samba. I had to sit up here and learn how to groove with her. It was different when you playing with F North. He got some rap going on. You know what I'm saying? It's completely different. You know what I'm saying? And Ricardo, he got some hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So he doing what he doing with a little rock in it. They all rocking different, and they all sit up here and bring something special to the groove of the beat 'em up. And again, I will say this, even though we got a little bit off track, is Double Dragon Revive is a great game to dance to. It's a great game to get in the mode of understanding what the dance is going to be, and you get in the groove, and you just sitting up here like literally ultra instinct to feel it, not to think it, to be so deep in it, I can see all the possibilities. And Double Dragon Revive, again, for the millionth time I'm saying this, when it hit on that think about it type ish, it hits. The thing is, because now we need to get to the gritty, this game got some things it needs to do to be a better game. My main thing go with hitboxes, because remember, I told you my favorite enemy in the game is Burn Off. Sometimes I'm hitting a button to stomp Burn Off's gear, and it's not working because I'm thinking I'm aligned with the hitbox in the game. Like, no, you're not. And there's a lot of that. Because again, it is an eight-way game. So you punching in all directions. Which reminds me of the last game that tried that, Double Dragon Wanderer of the Dragons. And a lot of what Double Dragon Revive does reminded me a lot of what Double Dragon Wanderer of the Dragons did. Or, respectively, adultly saying, the attempt Double Dragon Wanderer of the Dragons tried to be a Double Dragon game. Because again, I'm talking, let me. Double Dragon Wanderer of the Dragons with a little more tender love and care could have been a game we talk more about. Because when I think about it right now, Double Dragon Wanderer of the Dragons had everything it needed to be a great Double Dragon game. But at every point where it was supposed to be a great Double Dragon game, it failed at being a basic beat 'em up game. It functions, you do things, but you expect better, not only because of the name, but more importantly, the genre where great has been done. And since then, great has been exceeded by how great is, you see. Double Dragon Revive hitting. And again, like I say, and I'm going to keep saying it because I need y'all to remember this. This is an open-ended thing. We're not done here. I have only played as one character, beat the game as one character, understand what's going on with that one single character. We'll be back when there's a Marion, when there's a Jimmy, and when there's a Ronzo. Which brings me to the following that I need to say. Whose idea was it to not let Marcus be playable? I'm just saying. Again, from my understanding right now, none of the bosses are playable. But from a story perspective, why when you beat Marcus, he don't join the squad? That made no sense to me. And I said when I make this review, if I don't say nothing else, I'm literally sitting up here saying, why wasn't Marcus playable? I literally, the last thing I did before I started this video, before I did the other thing, was I finally was able to get Marcus's backstory in the extra mode. And it's like, well, things, but he should have been with the squad. I am really hoping with the sequel bait, because this is the spoiler, there is big, humongous sequel bait of please let Marcus be playable. Please just rewrite the ending and just be like, yo, I'm getting out the hood too. Because again, Marcus's story sits up here and says some things about leaving the block. Let him leave the block. Let him leave, because I want to know more about him. He got one of the best ball themes in the game. I love little Neff swagger. I want more Marcus. I do. When it comes to everybody else, the only things I need to say are the following. Dear somebody listening, could somebody please fix Battletoads and Double Dragon? Because we all know that isn't Roper, it's Machine Gun Willie. He's holding a damn machine gun. How did Rare mess that up? I've never said that on a video, but I'm saying that now. Somebody fix Battletoads and Double Dragon so that we properly got the lore together, right? Let's do that. Everything, like, I love everybody in this game. I really appreciate the twist on a Bobo. He just like, I'm just here to annoy you for a while. Let me sit up here and give you the knowledge check. I love that. Here's the truth. Y'all want to know that part where I learned how to play Double Dragon Revive? That was thanks to Joji, because I didn't understand about interacting with the wall elements in like electric and stuns. Because the thing that I want to highlight that Double Dragon Revive does really well, every now and then you need a quiz. Have you been paying attention, sir or ma'am? They, whoever you is? Because the electric fence thing, learning how to properly sit up here and crowd control comes up multiple times in the game. One of the most dumbest fights in the game literally goes back to the original Joji fight. Literally. Where you have to remember that things are going on, and that even though that boss fight looks insane, it is literally one of the easiest boss fights in the game if you've been sitting up here and you've been practicing your dance move properly. I'm like, I will highlight the Linda fight. The Linda fight sat up here, and it literally reminded me of Turtles 4 on Super Nintendo. You know the one, you know. Yeah, Shredder in the mech, and you throw the red foot soldiers in them. Yeah, that same fight. It's a very similar thing. And that's another thing that, again, highlighting the dance that Double Dragon Revive does so well. I just want you to take a moment. Consider me. Consider me the game. Consider what I'm presenting you. Consider my feelings about how I want you to approach it. I care a lot about how you approach it. And you will get better if you approach it the way that I want you to. Freestyling's okay in the middle. Take a second, do a dance break. You know what I'm saying? Just get your groove on. Do that. But respect what it is that I'm bringing out. Again, one of the other things I have purposely done, I haven't read a review, I haven't heard another human being's thoughts about this, because I didn't want my opinion about my dance with this game to be affected. And this is coming from voices that I look for when it comes to these types of games. I didn't want to hear what nobody had to say until I played the game, got what it was enough to sit up here and know that, again, like I said, open-ended. This is an open-ended thing. Runs coming with everybody. I'm like, given my schedule, I've got time. And now, what's the most important thing is that now that I've learned how to dance, dancing with a new partner will be a lot more easier because I did all of that grinding with Billy. I want to know what everybody else who's playable is about. I want to know. So here, I'm just doing this now. Every time I beat the game with a new character, I will come sit down. I will not do a short. I will come and sit down in the lab and we'll talk about it. Because I feel that it's important that we talk about it. Because given what I think is going on, I don't think too many people finna be doing too much talking about Double Dragon Revive in the immediate interim. Okay? I'm just being honest. I just got that feeling that given my dance experience with Double Dragon Revive is that I got a feeling this is finna be a one and done for a lot of people. And given what else is out in the streets right now that I haven't got my hands on, a lot of people probably looked at Double Dragon Revive, played it, beat it, and be like, nah, I don't think so. Here is what I will say on the back end. And I say this as I say this. Given the reason why I did what I don't normally do, I don't know if even $35 is the proper price point for this and what you have, because all you got is 4 characters, a story mode, and extra mode. Whether they coming out with more DLC, whether they gonna do the thing and make Marcus and the rest of the boss somewhat playable and do all of that, because that's the weird thing. Now that I think about it, that's kind of a thing Double Dragon games do. They make the cast playable. Double Dragon 4 did it. Double Dragon Zebo does it. Which should be ported and released somewhere else, but that's another conversation. You know what I'm saying? So again, I understand what the dance is. Now that I think about it, and I'm deep in this, speaking about dancing, we should really quickly talk about dancing, right? I talked about it a little bit, but I'm going to bring this up now. There are two issues I have with the controls. Two of them. Number one, because again, this is me trying to play a game that says Double Dragon but not revive at the end, where I'm trying to sit up here and I'm trying to combo into either uppercut or slide, because those are your two attacks that you can do out of block. You can, to a degree, attack weirdly out of a dodge if it's forward or backwards but not up or down. And speaking of that, if you're going to have 8-way movement, why isn't an alternate way to dodge not on the right analog stick? Given that action games do it, I don't see why the beat 'em up that deals in all 8 directions doesn't literally have a dodge in any direction. I don't understand that. I don't get it. But I figured that's maybe something that might be a suggestion, maybe. That, again, you can dodge, and you can dodge up, down, left, and right, but you can attack in all 8 directions, so why can't you dodge the same? I don't know. I want to know, equally, like I said, that when you want to sit up here and you want to do block attacks, because you can, to a degree, if you time it right, you can combo in a launcher, which would be, in most instances, you hold block and then you press the light attack button. The heavy attack button will sit up here and will get you what it is that you need when you do it out of that. Because what? Yeah, because that's slide. Because that's a slide attack. Because again, a lot of the dance is you have more than one way to build up dragon meter to counter your enemy. And sometimes you may, because again, there are some enemies, they're like these charging enemies. And the best way to get your counter off on them, that I have still not been able to truly time, but when I do, it feel good, is that when they finish and they still glowing and you can kick their ass, you slide right into them. Like, this is the enemy, this is you, and the enemy just stop right here, and your slide, why does you go bop, counter, wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Like those moments. Those are the moments that when you sitting up here and you dancing and it feel good. Like, again, another one of my favorite enemies at the end is Mabobo. Like, literally, spoiler alert. Literally, this game is literally a lore dump about how Mabobo exists. So we'll leave it at that. But I be sitting up here just dancing around like, Mabobo, when you gonna throw a rock, my boy? When you gonna throw a rock? Cause I'm finna sit up here and hit you with that tornado spin kick. Get that free counter damage. You gotta love it. Again, I will say this so I can go and get y'all out of here. I don't know if this is a $35 worth experience. This is kind of the similar thought that I had I been in the mode to talk about it, about how I felt about Rita's Rewind, right? Like, I don't know if y'all really got the right to be charging $35 for this, even though I know the reason you're charging $35 for this is Hasbro. In this instance, I don't know why Arc System Works is like $35 for this. But I understand that y'all sitting up here treating it, the title the way that y'all treat it, and y'all pricing it the way y'all think people should buy it. But then many people bought it to play a dodgeball game, and we can get into that, and we literally will. That is a note to self. But again, I will literally be honest at the back end of this. Given the right, the wrong, and the otherwise of the experience, I could have paid less and had the same experience and we still be having the same conversation. Well, actually, no. Because here's what I don't know. I beat this day 1, 2, technically. And in that, the game can radically change in the time I would have normally adultedly waited to play this. Again, let's go back to Rita's Rewind. I have played like 4 different versions of that game. literally day one, past patch, final patch. That's 4 different playthroughs of that game. Because what that game set out to be when it initially came out, because of all of the thoughts that were put back into the how and the why, it became a different game. I don't know if Arc System Works and Ukes are listening, but we'll see. That's the other reason why, because we are in the year of our Lord 2025. Well, this is open because I gotta play as the rest of these characters. I need to know how the rest of these characters handle now that I know how to dance. I need to equally understand what it is this game may become if things happen. We'll see. Again, sequel bait. Hopefully this sell enough for Arc System Works to commission a sequel, because I want more from Double Dragon. When have I not wanted more from Double Dragon? I'm like, literally, when I think about Double Dragon in the very moment, there's a lot of Double Dragon you can get your hands on, right, wrong, or otherwise. The only major thing I don't think you can like readily get your hands on that you would want it in a way you can get your hands on is Double Dragon 3. Seriously. Because on Double Dragon 3 only exists on an Android phone legally right now. Because I don't think Double Dragon Trilogy came out anywhere else that isn't on a PC or GOG, I don't think. But you can get everything else. Well, everything else depending on what you want from it. Because we're here, I got nothing but time. You have the 3 NES games on both the Kunio-kun collection and the Double Dragon and Kunio-kun collection, but they're not the Japanese versions, which are the versions you should go hunt down and play and go get translations for. There's only one true way to play Super Double Dragon. That's the Concho hack. Go find that now, right? Let's see. We don't talk about the Shadow Falls because that game doesn't exist. Why did I even say it? That game don't even exist. What? Double Dragon on Neo Geo. You know what I'm saying? You can't really play that on nothing. I don't think that is a game that is on anything other than PlayStation. Like, you can only play the PlayStation version legally right now, because I think you can still go to a PS Vita and go buy Double Dragon, that Neo Geo port to PS1. Just something you can still do. Technically, Rage of the Dragons don't count, but I'm glad you can play Rage of the Dragon legally in the year of our Lord 2025. At this juncture, if you want to play HD Double Dragon, it is easy as hell to do that right now. Go search for how to do a thing with an Xbox 360. Done. Double Dragon Neon on everything. There's a whole video explaining right here about Double Dragon Neon and how you can get into Double Dragon Neon. The only game that's literally truly gone technically, but not really, is Wanderer of the Dragons, but you literally had a decade to buy it, and it never went on sale once. Never. Not even when the 360 was shutting down. Never went on sale. So, Double Dragon, Wanderer of the Dragons is an experience. I will tell you that much. It's an experience, which is very similar to the experience we're talking about now. And I mean, as far as the understanding and knowing about what Double Dragon Revive and what Double Dragon Wanderer of the Dragons attempted and wanted and tried to do. And Double Dragon 4 is Double Dragon 4, and I almost forgot Double Dragon Advance, which is the game you should play, because it's Double Dragon Advance. Because I can sit up here and talk a whole 30 minutes about why you should play Double Dragon Advance. I won't do that. You should just do it, because it's literally readily available to you right now in the year of our Lord. So you should be playing Double Dragon Advance. Just is what it is. It is it's touted by a lot of people as the best in the franchise for a reason. Less said. Thank you. I'm not forgetting anything Double Dragonly major, I don't think. The trilogy, what you can't play Double Dragon 3, but you can play 1 and 2 on things. Yeah, because again, one and two are part of the arcade archives. Three, for some reason, I don't know why they holding back on three. That's weird. Makes no sense to me why they would hold back on Double Dragon 3. But at least you can play the combat tribes now. You know, you can do that. That's in the Techno versus the World collection. So yeah, go play the combat tribes. You know, the whatever version of Double Dragon 3 you want to call it or what it is, but that is that. I think I said my piece. I think you know what I'm saying. Wow, I didn't know we was here that long. I did not know we been here for a half an hour. That's why I made a 71-second video because I know a lot of y'all wasn't gonna sit through a 30-minute of me sitting up here talking about my experience with it. That's why we make shorts. We make shorts so I can make these things so that if you ever want to hear my breadth of my thoughts, I have it. That is called using every tool in your toolbox. Wink. So, let's review real quick. This has been a great and wonderful dance. I want more. I don't know if the price ticket was worth the experience, but I'm glad I had it. Again, I enjoyed my time with it because I know what I come to beat 'em ups for. That before I get to enjoy a beat 'em up, I come to it for the science. I come to it to lab. I come to figure out what you do game so that we can do together. That's what I come to it for. And Double Dragon Revive gave me a lot to think about. And I still got 3 more characters and a whole extra mode to finish. I really hope Marcus becomes playable. That's the only thing I want. I just want playable Marcus. I want him to have his own side story. Marcus the GOAT. That's my dude. That's my guy. I want more Marcus. That's what I want. Everybody else, you figure that out. Get Marcus in the sequel. Get Marcus in the sequel. I want that now. You know what I'm saying? I do. I think that about wraps it up for me. Let me sit back for a second because let me make sure because I want to make sure that I've covered all my bases. So, actually, what we will do is I'm gonna put on some music for y'all while I sit here and think about because I just want y'all to hear a little bit of this soundtrack. Here's Marcus' thing. We can hear that real quick. You know what I'm saying? We can hear that. So come on, play it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that's a minute. That's a sample. But I got one more. I got one more. My other favorite track. Anything don't make me not fucking kill you. I'm telling my. Uh-oh, here the break is. Here the break is, y'all. Oh no, we run out of time. I'm gonna let it run. Let it drop. You gonna be yourself, we gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna give you an atomic wedgie. I'm telling my. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, yeah, that's just a little bit. That's just like Steel Labyrinth and the Marcus thing, two of my favorite joints, and I just wanted to just give y'all a sample because I talked about the music at the top of this. Want to end it on the end of it, and we'll see how it works out when I upload it to where I upload it. Regardless of that, we have plenty of more show for you, amazing and awesome, beautiful entity that is you. If you ain't telling yourself that enough, tell yourself that more often because you are that. Don't believe it. Believe it about yourself. Regardless, plenty more show for you, so please sit back, relax, and stay tuned. You know what it is, and I'm of course the one on top of the G.O.D. The one who you love is your Uncle Triple, baby. You know I am Chemo V2, baby. And you know what? Chemo, suave. And you know I am hemping into the 62,784th power, just in case your ass forgot. You are talking to him, LK. Him Martin Lordship Kingulation, the 627th of my name, bitch. You know who it is. Always bring you that heat all day, every day. Live right here on Team GRFTV. Look, I got more work to do, but I'm glad I had a moment to really sit down and really talk about my feelings about Double Dragon Revive, and you make a decision based off this information, other information you may gather. Just know that regardless of anything else, I had a great time with it. I don't know whether or not, again, because of how I normally do things. This would have been months in advance when I would have lived. This would have been when we would have been talking about this March, April of next year. Like, you finally played Double Dragon Revive? Yeah, finally, because, you know, it went down in a price that I'm just like, yo, I'm down for the action. No, I'm glad I was able to get on the day one train because I really want to follow this game to its inevitable conclusion where hopefully there's a sequel where Marcus is playable. You see? You know what I'm saying? If you must own a struggle, you must own the struggle, kids. It is what it is. But seriously, plenty more show for amazing, awesome, and beautiful you right after these commercial messages. Yeah, I'm probably gonna play some more Double Dragon Revive later. Yeah, good chance. But seriously, plenty more show for all of y'all. Right after this.